Ladies and gentlemen, Vince here. A whole bunch of new reward apps have hit the market in 2025, but are any actually worth the time and effort? Let me just break down my experience for you. Hope you enjoy. Now, the first application I'm reviewing is called Bouncy Plinko Hit Rewards, and it's an early access title, so always keep that in mind. Just because something is early access, it doesn't mean it's automatically a scam or anything like that, guys. I just always like to have my guard up with these type of titles, okay? Anyway, this is what it looks like. So everyone, top of the screen, we have our diamond-based currency that we collect. We then have a 3-hour timer that counts down to 0, of course, and then once that timer runs out, those diamonds are converted into the supposed PayPal currency there. Underneath that, we have a magic spin area, which is just a little extra bonus essentially for the more Plinko balls you drop. Speaking of which, underneath that we then have the whole Plinko ball area. But then here's the first problem. This is another one of these apps that has the intrusive ad system, so every 30 seconds an ad will interrupt the game. Either way, at the bottom of the screen, the Plinko balls will land in the bottom tubes for extra bonuses. Simply just tapping the screen is obviously going to drop the Plinko balls. So you can pretty much spam that continuously until like a little mini game will eventually appear. This one's a spinning wheel system. Let's see what we can land on here, everyone. We have our multipliers at the top of the screen, and we have an actual prize there that we landed on, which is 200 VIP points. I now have to watch an advertisement to get more, or I can tap get, which will play an ad anyway. So let's tap the get more button. Then funny enough, another mini game pops up. Let's see what we get here, everyone. All right, more of the diamonds, and there's another ad. And realistically, that is all there is to the application, okay? It doesn't really take too much to play it. All it comes down to is essentially, in my opinion, how many ads you're actually going to watch to see what kind of revenue you're going to get in the end. I will say, though, the game itself is actually pretty fun for what it is. I mean, all you do is drop Plinko balls, though. So how did my actual earning experience go? So I started my test off with 2 hours and 56 minutes on the timer with 18 gems in the balance. I then played for around 58 minutes and generated 69,853 of these gems. And that only converted into 3 cents worth of USD currency, so I had to play again. Generated another 37,000 of the gems, and that eventually came to 5 cents USD. I am happy to say I withdrew that 5 cents USD, and it did arrive to my account literally within about 3 minutes or so, everyone. So that was great to see all in all. Just because an app can come through for you, does that really mean it's worth the time and effort? In this case, in my opinion, no. But you guys can do whatever you want with this information, okay? Let's move on to the next app. If you enjoyed today's video, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. Next up, we have Funny Bingo Circus Jackpot, another early access title. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but over the last 6 months, a lot of the get paid to platforms are starting to vanish, and a lot of these little 3-hour apps are appearing. This is what Funny Bingo looks like when you launch it up. Top of the screen, you have a life system and an in-game balance of coins. Underneath that, you have various daily activities that you can go through to collect extra gems. Bottom right corner of the screen, you actually have your gem-based currency, as well as a 3-hour timer and the supposed PayPal currency. We then have a carnival wheel system. This is just another way you can get little in-game bonuses such as the gems or the in-game coins. And then we have an ad. It'd be very interesting to me to see how much money these developers are actually making on the back end compared to what they're giving the players, alright? Because they're giving ads every single 30 seconds on these apps. So bottom left corner of the screen, you also have a lucky scratch system. Very straightforward system, everyone. You simply scratch the card and then hopefully you get some gems or coins out of it, alright? Of course, you have to watch the ad as well. There's a good example. Selecting a level will give you a little overview here of what to expect. So this is what the actual game looks like. And now they try and mix bingo and a slot machine element, everyone, which is very interesting to me. You don't really see these type of apps too often. Now, is that a good combination? Honestly, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of it. And there's another ad. So the bottom right corner of the screen, you have a little lever that you can pull, right? That's going to generate numbers that then you can select on the bingo board. So again, not the hardest game to understand. Bottom of the screen, you also have some abilities that can help you through the level. But I'm telling you now, everyone, really all that matters is the amount of ads you see, in my opinion, okay? And that's the thing with a lot of these apps. So I found that each level will really take around 3 to 2 minutes. Honestly, again, not the hardest app I've ever seen. It's really all just filler, in my opinion. Now, that does not make it a bad app. It just means that you have to have your expectations realistic because of ads. If they just remove the 30-second advertisement spam, I feel like these apps would be much better. Anyway, that's really all there is to it, okay? You guys can see it's pretty straightforward. Now, how was the actual earning experience? So everyone, I started my test off with 3 hours on the timer with 0 gems. I then played for a little bit over an hour and generated 691 of the gems. And again, that converted into 3 cents worth of USD currency. So I played again for another hour, generated 536 of the gems, and that finally equaled to 5 cents worth of USD, which I did withdraw, everyone, and yes, it did arrive to my PayPal within about 3 or 4 minutes. So again, that is what you want to see, but realistically, I feel like you could be doing so much more with your time, alright? I mean, some people might actually like apps like these, so I'm not going to judge too harshly. You can do whatever you want with the information. This is just my review. So that's Funny Bingo Circus Jackpot. Let's move on to the next app. Next up, we have an app called Cashouts, another early access title. This is what it looks like when you launch it up. Top of the screen, you have your account balance. You can see I have $1.40 worth of currency. Underneath that, you have the actual earning bar, okay? And this is your progress bar towards the next goal. Unlike other applications like Just Play, you actually have to make progress through the games on-game cash outs in order to fill that bar up. There's no 3-hour timer or anything like that, guys. You have to fill that bar all the way to the end before you ever see that reward. Now, I will say, at least here in Australia, they are claiming that you can get over 300 gift card providers, including PayPal, but the minimum is $3 worth of currency. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but it all depends on the actual earning pace of the application, and I have to say, it's slow in Australia. It took me around 3 hours and 30 minutes to fill that bar up, everyone, and as you can see, it does state that you can collect the $1 once you do get to the end of that bar, hence my current balance. The way I was able to fill that bar up was by playing the Find the Dogs game, and this is what that looks like, by the way. It's a very simple game. All you do is find the hidden dogs around the area. For instance, there's one, you just simply tap on it. It's as easy as that. Now, at least in Australia, game cash outs is too slow, in my opinion, to actually make it worth your while, but I actually don't doubt that it will come through with a reward, as I've even seen in my own community, people withdrawing on the app. So if you want to give game cash outs a try, you can. I'm just not the biggest fan of 3 hours for $1 in my country. Now, that does beat, though, a majority of these little 3-hour applications that have recently come out, so keep that in mind. It may be worthwhile to some people in their own country, alright? It's up to you. Next up, we have Bitcoin Climb. And this is what it looks like when you launch it up. Now, top right corner of the screen, you have your in-game currency of coins, which is used for upgrades, as well as your real Satoshi currency. You'll notice here I have almost 400. Now, this is literally all the application is, everyone, okay? You have to climb the wall. And the more you climb, the more of the little in-game currency of coins that you can generate, as well as the Satoshi currency. Now, you can't climb this mountain too quickly, or you actually run out of steam and fall off it. You can actually get little items as well by watching an ad that will help you. For instance, I can get this pickaxe. My little pickaxes are actually on fire, which will help me climb the mountain easier, even though I got too fatigued and fell off. That poor monkey. My little monkey's actually maxed out at the moment either way. So that's really all there is to it. Now, how did my actual earning experience go? Well, they have a daily limit of 4 Satoshis that are able to be withdrawn, at least here in Australia. But you see, they change this often, everyone. Because when I first started, I had 0 Satoshi, managed to generate 429 Satoshi. I was actually able to withdraw 31 Satoshi last time I cashed out on Bitcoin Mountain Climb, as they call it, for 3 cents worth of USD in total. So with the daily limit of 4 Satoshi right now, it seems the developers really can't make up their mind about this application, okay? So just treat it carefully, all in all. But what I can say is it did come through for me here in Australia. It just doesn't mean it's really worth the time and effort, especially if that 4 Satoshi limit still holds. They're clearly making changes over time. Again, you do whatever you want with the information. Let's move on to the next app. Next up, we have Plinko Jackpot, Pirate Trip. Another early access title, by the way. Are you guys starting to notice that almost every single app is an early access title? They're really trying to hide those reviews. Now, again, that doesn't mean it's a scam, but there's probably a lot of negativity going on here. Either way, this is what it looks like. Top of the screen, we have our in-game currency of coins, our gems, a 3-hour timer, and our supposed PayPal currency. Underneath that, we have a little board mini game. The more we play, the more we can progress on this board. Underneath that, we have our little Plinko area, everyone. Exact same concept as last time, and pretty much every other Plinko game on the market. At the bottom of the screen, you have your little bonus area. Hopefully the Plinko balls will land in the right slots. So just spamming the screen will drop the Plinko balls, and I'm sure out of nowhere, yes, there we go, we get a mini game. It really doesn't take that long to get to this point. Let's see what we get from scratching this little map, everyone. So we got 11.30 of the gems. At this point, of course, we have to watch an advertisement. So let's see what we land on here, everyone. Here we go. 3 times. All right, then we fill up our little bar. Sadly, this is another app though with the intrusive ads every single 30 seconds, so get prepared for that. And at this point, that's literally all there is, okay? So how was the experience? I started my test off with 3 hours on the timer, played for an hour and generated 580 of the gems. That only converted into 2 cents worth of USD, so I played again. Generated another 450 of the gems. That only gave me 1 cent, so I played again. Generated 418 of the gems. And then we finally hit 5 cents worth of currency, everyone. So that was extremely bad on an earning scale. I did withdraw that 5 cents worth of USD, everyone, and yes, it did come through again within about 5 minutes. So I guess that is cool and all, but same situation. Does that make it worth the time and effort? In my opinion, absolutely not. But again, it's completely up to you what you want to do. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my channel for almost 1,000 reviews. Stay safe out there.